বোঝাতেও অসুবিধা হয়। But in case of GTM, what happened to there? Most probably reading signal. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so we are in that process that the students' native language is the medium of instruction, and for this reason students and learners both will be benefited. Okay, it is used to explain the new words and to enable competition to be made between the foreign language and the students' native language. Another thing is that you can deliver your lecture in the native language teacher, and for the teachers and for the learners it would be beneficial. Why? As I have said earlier, that means actually for teaching and for understanding, delivering or something in native language is very helpful. So that is the things. GTM is the dominated foreign language learning and teaching method in Europe from the 1840s to the 1940s. 1840s means 1940 সাল থেকে শুরু হয়েছে আর শেষ হয়েছে কত? 1840 থেকে শুরু হয়েছে, শেষ হয়েছে কত? 100 বছর. Still in many parts of this world they follow GTM. Yeah, and we also follow CLT, communicative language teaching. Still in our core, in the core of our mind, that is we follow GTM. At present GTM is used as a modified form in some parts of the world. In 1984, Howard points out that GTM was introduced by those who wanted to teach classical language like German, French and Latin. As I have said earlier, it is a classical method in this way, that means the German language, French and Latin language. In our introductory class we have said that actually they had a rich literature, and for this reason they initiated that our literature is great, and for this reason the learners from all other countries and the language they wanted to teach or learn their literature, and for this reason this GTM started its journey. Which are the languages? That is German, French and Latin, and through the rigorous grammatical rules. But thousands of the school runners showed distaste to GTM next time. That means after 1940 decades. 1940 সালের পর থেকে অনেকে এই GTM নিয়ে কথা বলা শুরু করলো. Actually, foreign language learning meant to be school learners, that is nothing but to tedious, tiresome, exhausting, tiresome, boring, weary. Okay, the criticism তাদের basis কি? যে এত পরিমাণে ওয়ার্ড মিনিং মুখস্থ করতে হবে, that is very much exhausting. Oh, I can tolerate this. That is exhausting, tiring, boring, weary attitude. What is that? Means to study language rules and vocabulary. Who said that? Many critics after 1940 decades, 1940 সালের পর থেকে many critics said that yes, GTM, that means this language learning teaching method is very much boring. Exercise experience of memorizing endless list of unusable grammar. Okay, unusable grammar. Actually we are learning the grammar rules and also vocabulary, but we can't use this in our day-to-day communication, and for this reason the grammar rules and the vocabulary, they said that these are unusable, and the list of vocabulary endless. কতটা ওয়ার্ডের অর্থ শিখতে হবে? বলছে যত পারো শেখো. Many of our university senior brother, we would say that he is a living dictionary, that was the portion that the many of the students, they also memorized the whole Oxford dictionary. And we would say that they are the living dictionary. Why? This is for the principles of GTM. Memorizing vocabulary is plenty. An attempt to translate perfectly or is tilted or literary purpose. Okay, so many causes we have to study the vocabulary, and that was the tiresome aspects of GTM. Amar kotha na, according to some critics. Although GTM creates frustration for the learners, it is welcomed and liked by the teachers in some parts of the world, where it is assumed that understanding literature and literary text is the primary focus for foreign language learning and teaching. Yeah, actually it should be the primary focus, so it is the advantage. Okay, it might start some to someone else. Okay, you can prescribe some things and that would be welcomed by all. It is not always correct. আপনি একটা কথা বললেন, এটা দুইজন মানুষের মধ্যে কথা বললেও একজন পছন্দ করবে আরেকজন করবে না, isn't it? So এখানে তো গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথড সারা ওয়ার্ল্ডে বড়ানো হচ্ছে, so some welcomed and some criticized. So that is the scenario of GTM, where speaking knowledge is little and late and thus less important. Actually the previous criticism, that is we learning vocabulary is tiresome, এটাকে আমরা বাদ দিলাম, কিন্তু this aspects actually grammar translation methods gives less importance in speaking and listening. That is the criticism that should be counted against grammar translation method, because after 1940 decades, naturally English language teaching or foreign language teaching was not inclined only for learning the literature. শুধুমাত্র লিটারেচার পড়ার জন্যই তখন মানুষ ভাষা শেখে নাই. They started teaching learning for many various reasons: immigration, politics, business, tourism, and also treatment. So many things are there. Okay, and for this reason they criticize that where speaking knowledge is little and need, and thus that means you can write well but you can't communicate. You know the vocabulary of 1 lakh words but you can't passage, you can communicate with a foreigner. কারণ আপনি জানেন আপনি সুন্দর 1000 5000 ওয়ার্ডের এসে লিখতে পারেন, কিন্তু আপনি একজন ফরেনারের সাথে হাউ টু মেক ইফেক্টিভ কমিউনিকেশন you can do that. And for this reason the vocabulary list are unusable. Unusable in which sense? Unusable in which sense? That means in practical day-to-day communication. That was the basic requirements after 1940 decades. And for this reason GTM was getting less important scenario. We see in the contemporary foreign language teaching and learning, text often reflects and shows GTM principles because the texts are frequently the products of the people in literature rather than in English language teaching or applied linguistics. GTM is long, so some other principles. GTM is not linked to language learning and teaching theories. Another component is that actually what did I say? I say that approach, that means theory will initiate a method. In case of GTM, another criticism is that there is no theory behind GTM. Okay, that is one of the severest criticism in terms of GTM, that there is no language theory behind GTM. Okay, and also there is no justification or rationale of GTM. Justification, that means what are the goals, and yeah, we are learning vocabulary as we have said. Actually the tireless vocabulary list and other items, that is there is no justification of this. GTM cannot connect language learning and teaching to linguistics, psychology and educational theory. Linguistics, psychology and educational theory, we have said. And in the mid-19th century, positive views on GTM were developed in several European countries, which attitude can be called the reform movements in the foreign language and learning teaching. Okay, so that was the scenario of English grammar translation method. Okay, and in such a way the grammar translation method started